Time to paint the spiders from the Resident Evil board game by Steamforged Games. Hello and welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. Today's video we'll be continuing on with our Resident Evil board game by Steamforged Games miniature painting. Today's video will be the spiders. So before we get into this, if you would like to support my channel, I do have a PayPal linked in the description. If you would like to donate, please do. Any funds on there will go into improving the quality of my videos in the future, be it a better light source or whatnot. But yeah, please, if you do feel like donating, please do. So without further ado, we'll get into painting the spiders. So what I did first was I gave them a scrub with warm soapy water, and that's to get rid of any release agent on them. This is an important step because if you don't do this, paint can rub off quite easily on them. So with constant play and stuff, as you're moving the minis around, you may find if you don't do this step, paint may come off them, and then they will spray painted in Brainmatter Beige. And that is a rattle can from the army painted line. So that is the first two steps that you need to take with these minis. So first paint that we're going to put down is Zandri Dust, and this is going to be the basic colour of these spiders. So we're using a wet palette here by Steamforged Games as well, and I find wet palettes are fantastic for what they do. They keep your paints usable for longer, so they don't dry out nearly as quickly as they would if you're using, say, a tile or just, you know, splodging it on the table side like I used to. But yeah, this will probably need 2 coats as we have thinned down our paint, and I'm using a relatively large brush here just to get better coverage. But yeah, slap this over the entire mini and I'll get this finished and we'll be back. Okay, so that's the base coat down. Next up we're going to go in with Contrast Black Legion, and this is going to start putting in like stripes and stuff on these chaps. Now whatever you do on the legs, try and do them equal on all the legs, because otherwise it will look a bit odd. But we want, like, around each joint we want some blacks around there. Don't go too mad here because we don't want too much black on here, but maybe 2 stripes here. Do that all the way around the leg. Then the middle, we're going to do a bit of black on the middle, like that, for the whole thing. Just the entire middle bit. All this bit inside this circle here, so all this. Then we're going to do like some patterns on the abdomen at the back. I've seen seen people do it like spikes, like that. Just fill in all the back, the same like that. So we just want to, get all the stripes done on the legs at similar distances, maybe a few more on the longer legs, mostly around the joints. And yeah, I'll get that done on both spiders and we'll be back. Okay, so this is how they're looking so far. As you can see, I've done the black on the backs and a little bit on their abdomen each, and on each of their joints and their feet as well. So now we're going to go in with Mournfang Brown, and for this we're basically going to go either side of each of the black rings along all the joints, as well as like a sort of a circle in the middle here. So we want like a circle. Doesn't have to be a perfect circle, just a bit of a rough circle around the middle like that. And then we're also going to do these bits that we can reach anyway, brown as well under here. So for example, for the legs, either side of each black bit, like that, like that. Try to keep this as thin as possible, this line, like so, and obviously all around the leg. just to get a bit of variation, like that, like that. And we sort of want to follow that pattern along the entire thing. So I will get this finished and we will be back. Okay, so you should have something that looks a little bit like this. Now I'm just going to go back in with the 3 base colours and just tidy it up a bit. No need to tidy up too much, just maybe where like the brown's gone over some of the black. And yeah, just remember, you want it to look all natural, so don't go too mad with fixing it up. But I'll quickly do that before the shading phase. Okay, so you should have something that looks a little bit like this. Next up is the shading phase for this. We're going to use Agrax Earthshade, and we don't want to go straight from the pot here. We want to thin it down slightly because we don't want it too dark. So get some on our wet palette. Then we're going to get some water. We probably want about a 50-50 consistency. Maybe a bit more water there. Something like that. For this, we're just going to slap it all over the entire model. And hopefully what this will do is sort of blend all those colours together. Like so. I'll get this finished and we'll be back. Okay, so that is the washes completed on there. Now we're just going to go in and start re-highlighting up. So first step is going to be Zandri Dust. And get this on our wet palette. And we're just going to go back in and just start, if you drag it along the tops, it will just catch the highest points. So we want to leave some of that that shade in the recesses, because it's like fur and stuff. We don't want it to go into the recesses too much. So the dry brush here will probably be a better way forward. So just take your time, dragging it over the top, like so. And do this for all the Zandri Dust areas. I'll get this finished and we'll be back. Next up is going to be Usabti Bone. And this is a repeat of, well, pretty much the same as before. So we'll get a little bit on our brush. We want to dry it off. If you have a dry palette or a bit of tissue, you want to get most of it off. I'm just using the edge of my thumb here just because it's easier within reach. And for this, we're just dragging it across the top, catching the top points. We want to keep, again, most of the shades still in the recesses, and this is just hitting the tops. We won't be doing the underside with this step, just the parts that would be facing the light source. So I'll finish getting that done and we'll be back. Next we're going to go in with Skrag Brown, and again this is a dry brushing step. So get you a bit of tissue or dry palette or thumb, as I'm doing here. Get most of it off so it's dry, and just carefully dab over or brush over the brown parts. Again, this just doesn't matter if this bleeds over into the other colours, because it makes it all look very natural. Again, just take your time, focusing this mostly on the upper parts of the spider. Not too worried about. You can, if you want, to highlight a little bit underneath, but I'm not too bothered about that here. But yeah, just take your time, and you should have no issues. I'll get this finished and we'll be back. Next step here, we're going to start on the highlights for the blacks. So for this we need Dark Reaper, and this is just going to be for the highlights on the backs. So this is going to be done in the same way with the dry brushing technique. So a bit of tissue, want to get the majority of it off. This is just going to be used to brush ever so lightly over the top of the black, like so. Let's go too mad. I'll get that done and we'll be back. So that's all the fur done on these guys. You could go one step further and highlight the blacks with a mix between Dark Reaper and Rust Grey, but I'm going to leave it there for the fur. Next, we want to go in with Black Legion, and we want to block in all the eyes and the fangs on these guys. So the fangs here and here, as well as the eyes. So the eyes can sometimes be a bit tricky to see. So we just want to make sure we are hitting only the eyes here. We don't want to go on surrounding fur. So just be very careful. There should be eight of them, 8 dots. Like that. I'll get that done on both and we'll be back. The next step is Ulthuan Grey, and this is going to be for little dots on the eyes and a little bit of highlights on those fangs. So we want to get a little bit on our brush, and yeah, just little dots on the eyes. Like so. Remember, there's lots of eyes there. Like that. There you go. Then a little bit of highlights on the fangs. Like that. Don't forget the little teeny tiny fangs underneath as well. Like so. Happy days. And finally, I go for corn red on the base for my monsters until I decide how to do the bases eventually. But for now, corn red's fine. You can add blood for the blood god or on different bits on this, like on the fangs and stuff. But I'm not going to do that for these because I feel like they're less likely to have lots of blood on them than some of the other creatures, like the zombies and stuff. So I'm not going to add blood to these guys. But if you're doing the base the same as me, which is corn red, it will probably need 2 coats for this to get a nice coverage. So we'll get that done and we'll be back for the completed mini. We have it, the 2 spiders completed from the Resident Evil Boardgame by Steamforged Games. So yeah, if you enjoy this video and you find it helpful, please leave me a like and subscribe, or even share to others that may appreciate them. Also, if you would like to support my channel, I do have a PayPal linked in the description. So if you would like to donate, please do. That will go into improving the quality of the channel, and I hope to very soon, once I have funds in there, purchase a new lamp for painting, just to hopefully improve the lighting in future videos. But that will probably be a few videos away before anything like that happens. But yeah, thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. So happy painting and stay safe.